Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple copper penny. Most people would barely give it a second glance. It's small, common, and often ignored. But what if that tiny coin in your hand could actually be worth far more than 1 cent? What if a coin you received as change at a store or found lying in an old jar could secretly hold surprising value? This is exactly why coin collectors around the world love searching through everyday change. Sometimes, the most ordinary coins turn out to have extraordinary stories behind them. One of the most interesting coins that collectors still talk about today is the 1999 penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other modern American penny. On the front side of the coin, you can see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His face has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the word Liberty, while the year 1999 appears beside him. On the other side of the coin, you will find the Lincoln Memorial Building, a design that was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. For most people, 1999 penny is simply a coin worth 1 cent. Millions of these coins were produced at the United States Mint, and they were circulated widely across the country. In fact, the total number of 1999 pennies made was incredibly large. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 5 billion pennies that year, while the Denver Mint created over 4 billion. When you combine those numbers together, it means that nearly 10 billion pennies were minted in 1999 alone, with such a huge number produced. You might think the coin has no special value at all. However, coin collecting has taught us something fascinating. Rarity is not always about how many coins were made. Sometimes it's about small details, mint errors, or coins that were preserved in exceptional condition. This is where the 9th penny becomes much more interesting. Collectors often examine pennies carefully, looking for small variations that can make a coin valuable. These variations might include minting mistakes, unusual shapes in the letters, or doubled images caused during the minting process. In the case of the 1999 penny, one of the most talked about varieties is the famous 1999 wide AM penny. Normally, on the reverse side of most pennies from the late 1990s, the letters A and M in the word America are very close together. But, in some rare cases, the spacing between these two letters is noticeably wider. This variation happened because a proof coin design was accidentally used for some circulation coins at the Philadelphia Mint. As a result, a small number of pennies were struck with this unusual spacing. For collectors, finding a wide AM penny can feel like discovering hidden treasure. These coins are rare compared to normal pennies, and their value can be surprisingly high. Depending on their condition, some 1999 wide AM pennies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. That means a coin, originally worth just 1 cent, could potentially become a valuable collectible. Another factor that affects the value of a 1999 penny is its condition. Coins that are heavily used in everyday circulation often become scratched, worn, or dull over time. But if a coin somehow remains in excellent condition, almost like it just left the mint, collectors describe it as uncirculated. The pristine coins can be much more valuable than ordinary worn coins. Some collectors spend years searching through coin rolls from banks or jars of old change, hoping to find coins like the 1999 penny in perfect condition. The excitement of discovering one is part of what makes coin collecting such an addictive hobby. Every coin has the potential to be something special. Interestingly, the composition of the 1999 penny is also worth mentioning. Modern pennies are not made entirely from copper anymore. Instead, they are mostly made from zinc, with a thin copper coating. This change happened in 1982, when the United States Mint switched materials because copper became too expensive. As a result, the 1999 penny contains about 97.5% zinc and only a small amount of copper on the outside, even though the materials are inexpensive. The historical importance of the penny remains strong. The Lincoln penny represents more than just money. It represents a long tradition of American coinage and the legacy of one of the nation's most respected presidents. Over time, collectors have developed a deep fascination with coins, like the 1999 penny, because they remind us that valuable discoveries can happen in everyday life. A coin you might ignore today could become a rare collectible tomorrow. Stories of people finding valuable pennies in their spare change continue to inspire collectors to keep searching. This is why many coin enthusiasts encourage others to check their coins carefully before spending them. A small detail something most people would overlook could transform an ordinary penny into something truly special. And the 1999 penny is only one example in the vast world of coin collecting. Hidden within jars, drawers, and pockets all around the world could be coins waiting to reveal their secrets. The thrill of discovering them keeps collectors excited and curious every single day. So next time you receive a penny as change, take a closer look at it. Examine the date, study the letters, and pay attention to the tiny details. You never know, one of those pennies might be a rare 99 variety, worth far more than its face value. In the world of coin collecting, sometimes the smallest coins create the biggest surprises. Imagine a collector carefully examining a small pile of pennies under a bright desk lamp. Most of the coins look ordinary, worn from years of circulation. But suddenly, one coin stands out. The year on it reads 1999, and something about the lettering on the reverse side looks different. That moment of discovery can completely change the value of a coin that most people would never think twice about. The 1999 Lincoln penny became famous among collectors because of several rare varieties and minting differences that were discovered years after the coins were released. When the United States Mint produced billions of pennies in 1999, no one expected that a small mistake in the minting process would create one of the most talked about modern coins in circulation. The design of the coin remained the classic Lincoln cent design. On the front side, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears facing right, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This portrait has become one of the most recognizable images on American currency. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty appears to the left. The date, 1999, is placed to the right. On the reverse side of the coin, the famous Lincoln Memorial appears in the center. This design was used on pennies for nearly 50 years, from 1959 until 2008. If you look closely at the building on the coin, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, which is an incredible level of detail for such a small coin. But the real excitement for collectors started when experts discovered the unusual white M variety in some 1999 pennies produced by the United States Mint. Normally, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are very close together on regular circulation coins. However, on the rare white M version, the space between these two letters is clearly wider. This difference might sound small, but in coin collecting, tiny details can make a massive difference in value. The white M design was actually intended only for proof coins, which are specially made coins for collectors. Somehow, that proof design ended up being used on a small number of regular circulation pennies in 1999. Because of this mistake, a limited number of rare coins entered everyday circulation. For years, people unknowingly spent them at grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants, never realizing the hidden value in their pockets. Once collectors discovered this variety, the search began. Coin hunters across the country started examining thousands of pennies, hoping to find the rare white M version. Stories began to spread about lucky collectors who discovered one in their spare change. Some of these coins have sold for impressive amounts at auctions, in excellent, uncirculated condition. Rare varieties of the 1999 penny have reached very high prices among collectors. In some sensational stories shared in the coin collecting community, rare examples have been rumored or estimated to reach values as high as $769,000, when extremely rare minting errors or unique collector interests are involved. While such extremely high values are very rare and depend on the coin's condition, rarity, and collector demand, the possibility alone makes the 1999 penny incredibly exciting for treasure hunters. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin could potentially be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. Another factor that increases a coin's value is its grading. Professional grading companies examine coins carefully and assign them a grade based on their condition. Coins that receive very high grades, meaning they show almost no wear, can be worth dramatically more than ordinary circulated coins. For example, a typical worn 1999 penny might only be worth its face value of 1 cent. But a perfectly preserved example, especially with a rare variety like the white M, could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on demand. This is why collectors often use magnifying glasses or microscopes to study coins. They look closely at the letters, numbers, and edges of the coin, searching for any unusual detail that might indicate a rare variety or mint error.